Chinese used to be really different, like literally almost the opposite language, at least typologically speaking. If you've studied Mandarin or something, these are the things you've probably noticed. Short words, not a lot of grammatical endings and stuff, kind of like English, and they use like function words instead, and then also they have tones. But if we turn back the clock far enough to the ancient ancestor of Chinese, literally none of that was true. To be more precise, Proto-Sino-Tibetan, the ancestor of Chinese languages and Tibeto-Burman languages, was an agglutinative language. But then Middle Chinese, the ancestor of most modern Chinese languages, was completely the opposite, an isolating analytic language. So for something like Japanese, when they have a really big like sentence-sized word, you say that they have a bunch of morphemes. So let's say there was one word that hypothetically meant like he was on his way out of the house. It would be one word, but then it would have different like prefixes and suffixes to represent all those concepts. The average number of morphemes per word is called the morphological complexity of the language. So in English, we use some suffixes, but not really that many, so the average number of morphemes per word is like 1.5. But then in like Japanese, it would be like 3 because they have more complex words. And remember, that's what Proto-Sino-Tibetan was like. But Middle Chinese on average had like 1 morpheme per word, like even less than English. Like they freaking hated suffixes and prefixes. And actually, it's like cross-linguistically rare for languages to be that isolating. Mandarin Chinese is getting its morpheme count up a little bit, but it's still really low, even lower than English. So basically the entire grammar of the language flipped from Proto-Sino-Tibetan to Middle Chinese. So how do they know this happened and why? Well, the reason it's called the Sino-Tibetan language family is because Chinese is distantly related to the Tibetan languages. And actually some of those languages are still pretty agglutinative. And they appear to share some of these suffixes that we can see gradually get dropped throughout the history of Chinese. So Chinese languages appear to have kind of eroded those suffixes away and had to replace them with analytic structures. It'd be like in English if we replaced the 2 morpheme word cooked with 2 1 morpheme words, did cook. It's also thought that the erosion of these suffixes and consonants and stuff is what led to the tones in Chinese, although tones are just common in general in Sino-Tibetan languages.